Ready?
Yep.
Another thing that I am learning to love about you is I like to live a little slower and quieter. And Drew's always running 70 and a 35.
As my grandpa would put it, it was time for me to shit or get off the pot.
Thank you to our parents, our families, our friends, all of our amazing friends that are standing up here with us today, and everyone else that has helped make this day happen. We can't wait to celebrate with you tonight and for the rest of our lives.
Cheers to that.
That woman, she got a hold on me. She's the warmth of the summer, the color of the spring. She's the strongest wind, the calmest breeze. That woman, she got a hold on me. That girl, she's like the finest wine. She'll give you a taste if you give her time. She's a complex heart and I don't mind. That girl, she's like the finest wine. That girl, she's like the finest wine. Now drink until my heart is full. Honey, you drink me and I drink you. You're the kind of love I'm running to. Got a hold on me, got a hold on you. Got a hold on me, well, yes you do.
Sunburned paint still reads 98 state champs on that water tower. Kids still hang at the old flat bank, cruise that Friday night strip for hours, kinda like a small town. There's Glen Mill Road where the years move slow. Ain't much changed since our first kiss. I've seen city lights and man, I saw the light. Now let me tell you now, I admit, kinda like this small town. They ain't changed a bit, nothing better than this that I found. It took some coming around, but I'm figuring out you're where I wanna be right now. Kinda like this small town. Yeah, kinda like this small town.
So Drew and I knew each other in high school and through college just from mutual friends.
I did try and talk to her early on in college. I think my freshman year, that got shot down pretty quick.
Drew did try to talk to me a little bit at that time, but I just remember I thought he was pretty rowdy, so I kind of let that one fizzle out.
And we didn't cross paths again until probably 6+ years later.
Yeah, I was definitely not expecting to meet anyone, and I came back home and Drew was there.
At that point, me and my buddies were spending a pretty good amount of time at the local watering hole. I remember being at the bar, me and a couple guys spread out, and usually when someone opens the door, you kind of do that turn and look. Well, my turn and look was like, I remember thinking, damn, who is that? Sorry about that, Tim.
I just definitely noticed you when you were throwing some one-liners out there.
That's fair. Did they work? That night kind of sparked it. From then on, her and I started talking, and here we are.
There's only one place to go. The best is yet to come. Are you ready or not? Ready or not? Are you ready or not?
Do you remember when we were supposed to have our first date? Focus. The first date that I went to the date and you did not.
I was physically there.
The first date that I thought was a date, I went over to Avery and Drew's house. I called Drew and he never answered.
sometime between her getting ready and me relaxing at the end of the night, I decided to doze off and woke up in the morning with my phone still laying on my chest with a couple missed texts and phone calls. I was sawing logs.
And in the morning, I got some pretty apologetic text messages. It was probably a couple months after that. After work, I went over to his house.
She wanted to carve pumpkins that fall. I kind of got the whole thing set up for her.
And he had set up carving pumpkins and had to candle it, and I'm pretty sure he made me dinner. So then I was like, okay, that's a date.
Ready or not, are you ready or not? The best is yet to come. Are you ready or not? Ready or not? Are you ready or not?
Yeah, our first kiss.
You think you could take the wheel on this one?
No, not really, but our first kiss, we had been out one night. Really?
I'm gonna have to say our first kiss was shortly after we met. Pretty sure we went out for prime rib and then probably spent a good chunk of that night at the Pondo. And I know it was shortly after leaving the Pondo that I probably initiated.
You did.
Pretty confident that I was the one that initiated that. I can almost bet on that. Sorry about that, Tim, again.
The best is yet to come.
Oh, now you gotta wipe your lips off. I wasn't looking for anything. I wasn't looking for a relationship. I really, really, really wanted a family. And I remember my dad telling me one time, you know, if you just believe, he'll give you what you need. And then I met Drew, and I mean, he was everything that I have ever, more than I've ever dreamed of and hoped for. And so I knew he was the one right away.
I don't think it was one like light switch moment. I would say it was more multiple small moments over time. Her ability to do the small things for people repeatedly and not ask for anything in return. She just does it because she knows it's the right thing and because that's something that brings her joy. The more I saw it, the more it stood out, and it's just something I've always recognized in her.
The best is yet to come. Are you ready or not? Ready or not? Are you ready or not? The best is yet to come.
Okay, so for the proposal here. My idea of a proposal was a complete surprise, right?
Drew had started a new business and he had just bought a house in Blair. So I was starting to think, okay, maybe he's thinking about me in these plans. And then that summer he went and bought a new boat. So then I was thinking, okay, I'm definitely at the bottom of the list.
Special spot for the two of us was my parents' cabin up in Niobrara, so I pretty well had my mind up. I wanted it to be there.
And we were leaving for the cabin that weekend. It was Labor Day weekend.
Went out that morning fishing by myself to kind of gather my thoughts and have a few cold ones. The day went on, a few more beers were had. It was about dinner time and I knew I had to pull the trigger.
That night we were making dinner. Andrew and I were gonna go shuck corn out at the river and just throw it out in the river.
It was time for us to head down to the dock. She was already outside waiting on me, so I looked at my older brother Zach and my sister-in-law Heidi and I said, which one of you has a phone ready? They're like, what do you mean? And I pulled a ring out of my pocket.
We get down to the dock and I put the corn down and Drew was walking behind me and he said my name and I turned around.
Right there at the top of our dock, I got down on a knee. She was pretty excited.
I had no idea. I don't remember what I said.
You said, are you sure?
Oh. Are you?
Yep.
Okay.
I gave away my heart to you when I gave you my hand. And somehow I still ended up more whole than I began.
Do I get 30 seconds?
I hope I spelled that right.
I kind of have an idea, but I don't want it to sound like.
The word that I would use to describe Drew is genuine. He is the kindest, most selfless person that I've ever met. He's never met a stranger. He is hardworking and he'd give you the shirt off his back in a heartbeat. He loves me and his family so well, and there's not one thing about him in his work life, with his friends, with me, with his family, that he is not 100% genuine and true, and that's one thing that I love about him.
The word I picked for Brooke is better. I feel like Brooke has made me a better person. Not only that, she is always very good about striving to make our future and our future family and the opportunities we have better. How about you describe it and I kind of fill in?
So,
the word we chose is steady. Brooke does a very good job of kind of bringing me back to earth sometimes. I get a little bit caught up in the hustle and bustle of life and work and everything involved with that. And she does a very good job of reminding me what truly matters.
Drew is our rock and our backbone in our relationship, and no matter what's going on in our life and the world, you're always holding us up and someone that's steady for me in my life.
Any way you choose to do the math, you will always be my better half. You will always be my better half.
I don't know what I ever did to deserve you, but I thank God every day that I get to love you for the rest of my life. I love you more than you know. Cheers to forever.
I know that the good Lord had us cross paths at just the right time. I can't wait to celebrate the rest of the evening with you. And on top of that, we've got a long life ahead of us, so I look forward to that journey as well.
Heading out on our own with our hope in the clouds, and we're starting to see that we're onto something. Feel it coming, we'll keep running, nothing in our way, and we got no reason to wait. Let the journey take you where it wants to. We'll continue to find our way through anything we face. We got what it takes. Here we go. All we need is an open road and a chance to see a never-ending world that's beautiful. Here we go, with the sunlight on our skin. It's a brand new day, it's ours to take, and we will let it in. This is where the adventure begins. Every step, writing stories that seek to be read, taking hold of the moment as we discover every color filled with wonder. Now we finally see we got everything we need. Here we go. All we need is an open road and a chance to see a never-ending world that's beautiful. Here we go, with the sunlight on our skin. It's a brand new day, it's ours to take, and we will let it in. This is where the adventure begins. Heading out on our own with our hope in the clouds. We're starting to see that we're onto something. Feel it coming now. Here we go, with the sunlight on our skin. It's a brand new day, it's ours to take, and we will let it in. This is where the adventure begins. I've been thinking about you and how you made me sink into the deepest of oceans, where love is all I breathe. I'm learning your temperature, I'm learning your space. I'll keep swimming softly now, through wind and wave. I can't take a breath when you're not there.
take you, Brooke, to be my wife.
I take you, Drew, to be my husband,
I promise before God and these witnesses
to be your faithful wife,
to be your faithful husband,
to share with you in plenty and in want,
in joy and in sorrow,
to forgive and strengthen you,
as long as we both shall live.
as long as we both shall live.
I'm learning your patience. I'm learning your grace. I'll keep moving towards you now, as long as it takes. I can't take a breath when you're not there. You're my reason, you're my air. You're all I want to have and hold. This day